Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Saturday Night Live. Let me welcome you to my Saturday Night Live. I am Mr. Charles. I cannot sing, so I will stop hurting your ears now because you're saying to yourself, wow, this man is really bad at singing. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But that's okay. Oh, shucks. Alright, so take the link and share it with your folks and friends all over the world. Well, not all over the world, but wherever they may be. You know how to share the link by now, don't you? Yes, you do. And I have a calculator. Let me tell you a story, folks. Back in the day, when we needed to calculate things, we used to use this. And we used to press numbers and do different things. And there were like functions and stuff like that. I used to press on and second function. And then they created spreadsheets. They created a spreadsheet. And tonight, my goal is to not teach you how to use a spreadsheet, but use a spreadsheet. That's possible. Happen. Yeah. So tonight is about spreadsheet. Well, not spreadsheets, but marks, because we're coming down to the end of the term, and yay for all those of y'all who are happy to be coming down to the end of the term. And every school is going to try in some way or form or fashion to give some sort of end of term mark, but the end of term mark may not be as robust or as valid or as whatever you want to call it as you may want it to be, but still have to get a mark. And apparently, most of us, or most of you, would have been using Google Classroom for your marking, and you now have the ability to export your marks from Google Classroom. Kind of crazy, huh? Yeah. All right, so I'll go through that first, and then I will have a question and answer session where I'll just try to answer the questions that you all may have. If you don't have any questions, well, we'll just end the live. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them as concisely as possible, because, well, in case you didn't know, kind of like to answer questions. And yeah, welcome to everybody. My mods tonight are Spanish, Jared, and Javish. They are your hosts / waiters / butlers / bouncers / moderators / link sharers / whatever else you want to call it. Don't ever say that they don't have good students out there anymore, because these kids here, they're faithful. They're faithful. One day they'll have their own YouTube channel and I will be their moderator. When I'm 60 years old and I'm sitting down, I have nothing to do, and I'll be like, oh gosh, let me moderate this child chat. Okay, I should stop now. All right, so we're going to do calculating the grades, calculating grades. That right there. Yeah. Calculating grades. And let's go. So everybody should be accustomed to having a Google Classroom class by now, we hope. If you're using Microsoft Teams or whatever other platform, you should have this ability somehow. Teams will most likely try to send you to Excel, but Google, of course, will send it to Google Sheets. So we're going to take our classroom as is. You'll know the test classroom by now. And we're going to go to classwork. And in classwork, not classwork, sorry, grades. Grades, the grades tab. Now, you only see the grades tab when you have a desktop. You don't see the grades tab on a what's the word? You don't see the grades tab on a phone or a tablet. You'll only see the grades tabs on a desktop because I don't know, they probably just realized that it's kind of hard to do that. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to get the grades into a sheet, right? So in order to get the grades to a sheet, all you have to do is click on any one of the assignments. Any assignment will count. So we click on any one. So I'll click on this one, Sunday night quiz, right? And it will show you that it was graded or whatever it was and all that stuff. There's this little cog, this little sprocket cog, is a cog here. On the top right hand side that you would see here, see where my mouse pointer is. Oh, it's gone. Right, there's a little cog here. Right. When you click on that, you will see the ability to export your grades into Google Sheets, download as CSV, or download these grades as CSV. So when you download, first one it says download these grades as CSV. That one means that you will download only the grades for this one assignment here. Now, of course, this example here, I only have one student because I can't show my actual class of students for, I don't know, you know, security purposes. And you could download the marks for that one test alone. Now, the thing is, a CSV file is not like, it's open up in Excel, but a CSV file is not an Excel file per se. A CSV file stands for comma separated values. So basically, you just have the names and the numbers separated by commas, and any program could read it, right? So Excel could read it, Sheets could read it, anybody else, any other program will read it. So whenever you see CSV, don't get too confused at what is a CSV? Download grades as CSV. CSV, that stands for something like counting spectacular vectorially. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means comma separated values. Pro tip, right? Alright, so you could download this item, these grades are known as CSV, or you could download all the grades as CSV. If you download all the grades as CSV, you will download an Excel file, right? And the file will open up in Excel. So if I click download all grades as CSV, what I will get is it will lead me to a kind of page like this, and then it will try to download it, right? And it'll give me a file. So I'll just throw it on my desktop and see what happens there. Now I have this file that comes down as a CSV. When I open it up, Excel will grab it because Excel is the default spreadsheet software on my computer. So Excel will grab it, and you will see that it will come up with some nice little columns and stuff for you. So it will show you the name of the child. It will show you the last name. Ooh, that's too big. Yeah. Right, it will show you the last name, first name, last name, and email address. Right, last name, date points. So last name, Charles, Andre, email address, my email address, and then it will show you each assignment, and it will show you the date that the assignment was given and how much it was out of, and then how much the child got. Apparently, I didn't return any tests. Okay, I returned these two. So one of them, the child got 0, next one 100, next one 2 out of 3, right? So it will give you this, and you could work on that on Excel if you feel like it. Working on it in Excel, well, you could do that if you want. Nobody will really have a problem with you. Everything will work, and you could do that there if you're cool with Excel. However, if you decide that you're going to export it to Google Sheets, things will get a little better for you. Because what will happen is, let's now hold on 1 second. Not too sure if I shared this thing in the group. Group. And we are live. Yeah. Teachers probably like, fed up now. Like, I really don't want to learn anymore. I'm tired. Okay, good. Yeah. So fix that. Right. Now back to this. Right. So if I click copy all grades to Google Sheets, what will happen? You could copy all grades to Google Sheets, and then it will create a sheet for you to put to see all the numbers in, right? And it'll give it a nice little color along with the color scheme of your classroom, and it'll have the name of the students, and it'll automatically put their average there if you want to. So if you look at it closely, you will see that it has my name and my email address, the email address that's associated with me, and then the calculation. So I'll do that one more time just in case you didn't see. You click on your cog and then you choose copy all grades to Google Sheets. Now, what will happen when you do that is that you will get this. So this class kind of small because this is my test classroom. So I will not use the test classroom and I will use one of my actual class that I have, but I have obfuscated the names, right? So I changed the names to random people from the internet. Well, I went by a name generator and generated names because, well, you could do that if you want to. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see clearly what is happening here. Okay. Right, to the people that have questions, I'll do the question and answer after I finish this section, right, or segment. So hold your questions until it's time to ask questions because I'll probably miss it and one of the mods will have to remind me. So we'll just keep it simple. Okay, so this is the class CSEC IT online only. So this is a online IT class that I have. Shameless plug. I teach IT classes. And if you have any children who do CSEC IT, I'm your guy. Every week you get a test. So like you could look here, June 10th they got a test, then the 17th, 25th, 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd. Like I wouldn't fail at all. There's a test every single week. Why is there a test every single week? Because I have to make sure you know your work. So yeah, we reach up to November 4th, right? So yeah, that's just me showing you that my class has a test every week. And the average mark for the whole class right now is 81.38. That's kind of good. It's kind of good. I don't know. Yep. I never really looked at this. I looked at this before. This is actually one of the first times I was looking at the marks of the class. Anyway, so I will have the children in class and I gave them all random names. So don't look at these names and be like, what? He has a child named Amal Cunningham? No, these are fake names that I've swapped into the space of the real names. And I've swapped in fake emails, of course, also too, right? So don't think that I'm showing any information. Right. Now what you will have is you will see all the marks that they've done for every single assignment that they're given. So once you're given a mark for an assignment, it will be put here. However, if you put an assignment as ungraded, then there will just be no mark on top here, and you will see the space blank. I don't have any ungraded assignments because, well, that would be kind of odd for me. Why would I give an assignment and not grade it? But that's this for lessons class. So like in your real class, you may have given assignments that are not graded. So what you will see is you will see these marks here. Now, you may wonder, okay, so what if a child leaves out a test? Or what if a child wasn't there or wasn't absent? Well, it figures that out because, look at this. This child here only did one test, which was 16 out of 20. 20 is the total mark. and 16 is the mark that they got. And they only did one test out of all. So they didn't do this test, they didn't do that test, they didn't do this one here, they didn't do that one there, they didn't do that one there. All these tests, right? So if you calculate 16 out of 20, you're supposed to get 80%. Well, look at that. There is 80% there. So that means the Google formula does take into consideration that that students may not do the test. And just in case you're not sure and you think I'm lying, let's see if I can do this now. 16, it's a calculator by the way, 16 divided by 20 equals 0.8. So the spreadsheet doesn't lie. And don't think that the spreadsheet is lying to you. And be like, them calculations wrong. No, calculations aren't wrong, they are correct. So you see a percentage here. And this is one surefire way, if you have been up to date with doing your assignments and making sure you're giving the children work to do, and every single time they give an assignment, you mark it and you send back marks and all that stuff, you do not have to go into Google Classroom and manually, which is what some teachers are going to try to do. Please tell them, don't do that. Don't do that, please. They are going to try to go back into Google Classroom and go by grades and then literally look at all the grades that they see here and put them in a calculator and calculate their average. That is going to hurt me because this is smarter than that. So you can easily just, not do that. Yeah. So, marks are in, right? Now, let's say the marks are in, but some child submitted their work really, really late, right? And the child submitted their work late, and you kind of want to put in their mark because they never got it submitted, and you have to run down children sometimes and tell them submit their work. Well, you could go in the same sheet and go and find the space that they didn't submit the mark. So let's say this child who got the 16 out of 20 in this test actually did the test on October the 14th, but I didn't take note of it. I could go in here and just type the number, which is, the test was out of 25. Let's say the child got 17 out of 25. Pay attention to this cell over here. Pay attention to this 80 here. Hold on. Let me give you something to look at closely. Okay, so you should be seeing the 80 there now, and you will see the, alright, I didn't mean to do it so small, sorry. Google Sheets was buffing me. Right. So let's say I want to get this, right. Alright, so watch. So the child got 16 in one test, but didn't do the test, So you could press 2017 and boom, the percentage will automatically change because it's smart enough to calculate that these two are better than good. So I could change the 17 here and then I could put the 15 here. Now let's say, hypothetically speaking, you decide that some of these assignments that I gave and I gave marks for, I don't want to use for marks. I don't plan to use I don't plan to use those for marks. Well, guess what you can do? You can just highlight all the cells and all the information in those cells. Highlight, go straight down. Pay attention to the percentages on the left side here. You see the percentages on the left side here? They're kind of small. Let's now make it all bigger. If I make it too big, you wouldn't see. Alright, good, yeah. So let's say this is the assignment I don't want. The one on the 23rd. I could highlight the whole thing all the way down to the end. Of course, you'll make this smaller when you're working on your screen, right? And then I press the delete button. And when I press delete, everything for this assignment is gone. The total amount, the marks that they got, whatnot, and it doesn't matter. And then I could be like, okay, I give like 20 different assignments this term. I'll just delete the stuff for the assignments I don't want. And when I press delete, it will just delete them. And the percentages will automatically update based on which ones I choose and which ones I don't choose. So we know that we often give assignments and tell the children, You know this is going for marks, right? Just to kind of scare them into doing it, because they won't do it if you don't. If they don't. So you can just click on the cell. You can click on the letter. It will highlight the whole row. And then you just press delete. And it will just automatically update the percentages. So if there's only 4 marks you need for the end of term, and you want to choose the best 4 tests that you think you have, go ahead, choose the best 4. If you're a wicked teacher and you want to choose only the worst 4, go ahead. You can do that too. Nobody is going to stop you because, well, yeah, it just works. And last but not least, when you get the percentages here, you're most likely going to have to either, well, I doubt anybody will have to write things in a report book. You're most likely going to have to like copy the score to another sheet or something like that, or type it into another spreadsheet. And you could do that, I mean, if you want to, but you don't have to. You could just look at the number here and put it into the report book, and they could get a percentage. And if, well, of course, I would hope that as a teacher, you have the ability to look at the percentage and be like, okay, this child got 78 because it's not 0.5. But if they have 0.5, we'll round it up. So like the 71.69, we'll round it up to 72, right? But if, just in case, things are really, really bad, you can highlight the little percentages here. Highlight the cells with the percentages. You should be able to highlight. Click on highlight. And then go and click this little, you see this little thing here? Increase decimal places or decrease decimal places. If you click decrease decimal places, it'll just automatically round it up for you, and you don't have to worry about the math. Because you know some people, they may not be mathematically inclined and don't know how to round up and round down. That's okay. You could go, watch where my mouse is. You see where my mouse is? You just click reduce decimal places. And if you need to put in a whole number because you don't like the decimal places, then you can click carry down decimal places again. And now you have a nice whole number to put in the child's report because you are smart. Alright, so the person asked the question, Janet Peters, if it's also going from the class too. No, it's not going in the class, because once you export this sheet is a sheet that takes a snapshot of what the marks were at the point in time you exported it. So the actual classroom, the marks that are inside there, will stay the same all the time. Well, I mean, will stay the same unless you go inside the classroom and change it. But once you export, it's like taking a copy of the marks from there and putting it in a place where you want to work on it separately. So that should solve your problem there for the most part. Yep. And well, if you are allowed to put decimal places, then you'll just put back your decimal places, and that will fix that problem there. Right, cool. So let me just pause here and take some questions about this before I move on to the next problem that people are telling me about this week. What was the problem about? I can't remember. I think I wrote it down somewhere. I didn't write it down. I took a note somewhere. All right, so let's get to some questions before I answer. So type your questions, and while you're typing the questions and I get any chat sorted out, let's hear from Granny. Oh no, Granny's not there. I know why Granny's not there, because I removed Granny from the file, from the location where Granny was, and that is my fault. But I won't do that. I don't have a problem. All right, let's get the chat up. Getting the chat up. Oh yes, I have to tell you all. Yeah. For those of y'all who into online shopping and Black Friday sales and shopping for Christmas online on Amazon and all those places, I've created a separate WhatsApp group now just for online deals. And in that group, all I do is share links to deals that I see on Amazon on the internet for all sorts of different items. And especially with Black Friday sales coming up soon, that group will just be basically me finding things that will be very cost effective and things that will be coming up very cheap. So laptops, electronics, devices, toys, all those different things. If I see a deal, I will share the link there and you click the link. The links are affiliate links, so just to let you know, I'll probably get like a $5 if you use it, but you don't have to use it. If you do use it, I mean, you know, it's cool. I searched for it and I gave it to you, no problem. So that WhatsApp group link is at the bottom of the description inside this video, so you can check that out. That is what I wanted to tell you. Now it's time for me to get the chat. Yeah, so when you yeah, for those of you who are looking for good Christmas, of course, I've been shopping online for like the past plenty. I've been shopping on Amazon since like 2004, so I know my way around, and I've been burned enough times to know what not to do. And let's go. All right, so questions. Let's see. Sir, is it also gone from the class 2? No, I answered that one. If you delete the information from the sheet, it's just that's a copy of the sheet. So that's a snapshot. Suzette Dowdy, of lately there are problems when trying to turn in assignments on Google Classroom. Any suggestions? Problems? Suzette, you're going to have to be a little more detailed with what problems with submitting Google assignments, because I don't think I had any issues. A lot of people would like usually come in the group, in the WhatsApp group, and say they had problems uploading assignments and stuff, but I don't think we had any reports. So you had to be a little more detailed with me so I could know what the problems are. Rhonda third, so the grades must be returned in order for them to be seen in the sheet. Yes, the grades must be returned. If you don't return the grades, then it won't be logged in the sheet. And if it's not logged in the sheet, well, yeah, you'll have a problem, because it will kind of think that the grades will exist, basically. Right. Hold on 1 second. Right. That is for my mods to make them see that I'm not slouching, because they tend to think I slouch. So you said you can click on only one subject. By doing so, will all the other subjects automatically be added to the spreadsheet? If you click on one subject, no, you'll just get the spreadsheet with one column in it. One column with that subject. So if you go back here and you click on one of the assignments and you choose download these grades. So let me see if I can show you. Yeah. So if you go on the assignment and you choose only download these grades, you'll just get a spreadsheet with one column. But once you say copy all grades to Google Sheets, you'll get something looking like this. Right. Back to the chat. Back to the chat. So, another question from Jacinta Honore. Can you select assignments that you may want the average of? Yes, you can select only the assignments you want the average of by deleting the ones that you don't want the average of. So if I don't want this assignment, I can just click on the letter in the spreadsheet, which is the H on top here, which is like this. So I could click here. Let's say I don't want this assignment that was on July the 1st. I just click on the little H or the letter for the column, or I could just highlight the whole column if you want. You could drag it down, but it's easier to just select the title for the whole column, which is H, and then press delete, and then it will delete all the marks, all the things. So it'll come like this assignment is not valid, or what, for whatever reason, and the percentages will just automatically update, because the formula will only look for the marks that are there. All right, back to chat. What if I wanted to get a weighted grade? All right, that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to show you how to get weighted grades by using some formulas. So I'll get to the weighted grades just now, Jeanette Peters, because weighted grades are kind of important. So let's see if there are any questions. Any more questions before I move on to showing you how to do the weighted grades? Right. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go into weighted grades now. Now, with weighted grades, just in case people not sure how weighted grades work, it works something like this, right? Let me give you a kind of breakdown of how weighted grades work. Don't worry, Jeanette, it's cool. You can jump ahead. So, Maria, after deleting the wanted grades, can I get it back? Well, you can get it back if you re-export it from Google Classroom. Yeah. Because it's kind of really easy to just go back in Classroom and then just click on the thing here and copy all grades to Google Sheets and you'll get it back. Or you could get it back by clicking undo too, because if you delete all the things and then you go back and click the undo button, which is up here, undo, and it comes back. Redo, it goes away. Undo, comes back. Redo, goes away. Undo, comes back. And then you could even undo further back. And whatever you change, you could re-undo it, all that. So, undo is your friend. Like, if you didn't know what undo does, well, trust me, undo is your friend. Because we make mistakes a lot in documents. Alright, so what I was trying to show you now, I'm trying to show you weighted grades, right? Okay, so weighted grades. Just to explain how weighted grades work, it's kind of like simple. You have math, and you say that your math grade is supposed to be 25% of your total mark. Your English should be 25%. And then for, I don't know, comprehension, you decide that comprehension is supposed to be 50% of the total mark, right? Okay. So to do our weighted grading, you have to be able to be proficient enough in maths to figure it out. Alright? So let's see if we could create a little weighting sheet, right? So I am going to create a new sheet. No, actually I'm just gonna copy these people information here, right? So I'm going to copy the information on this classroom. Yeah, but comprehension is a lot. So I'm going to copy it to existing spread, or going to duplicate it. So I'll duplicate the sheet. Just because I'm going to butcher the sheet so badly that I am going to I'm going to, yeah, Javish, you could kick that one. That's one of them bots. Alright, so I duplicated, right? So I have a copy of sheet 2. So I could change this to weighted. Alright, so now I have 2 sheets. I have the original one that I got from Google Classroom, and then I have the weighted one, right? So in this weighted sheet now, I want to be able to calculate the marks for, I want to say that certain tests will be weighted differently from others. So I'm going to have to do some sort of merging or something of that sort, right? So just to make things a little easier, I'm going to clean this up and only add like 5 assignments. So I'm going to delete all this stuff here. So you have to be able to know how to clean up the sheet. But I am just cleaning this up because I want you all to be able to see it easily, right? So let's say I have this amount of these marks here, right? Let me get students who actually did their work. Delete you. I'm trying to simulate a class that has full marks, right? Just in case you all, so that nobody will be too confused. All right, cool. Sorted that out. Delete rows. This child didn't do all the work either. Okay, good. All right, so just neatening this up so that we have some children at all their marks, right? Of course, your class will be a lot bigger than this, but you shouldn't really have any issues. So, right. So I will have all the marks, and let's say I've narrowed it down, and I say, okay, these are all the tests that I want to check. But these first three here fall under mathematics. These three here fall under English, and these here fall under comprehension because I'm trying to use this little rubric here, right? That I want to do. I'm going to have to now insert a column for weighted, right? So I'm going to insert one to the right, and then insert another one to the right. Insert another one to the right, and then insert another one to the right. Insert one to the right. Okay, good. And then I want to name these columns in red, so I'll change the color to red, 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 red. Okay. So the weighted mark, this one here is going to be out of 25. This one here is going to be out of 25. And this one here is going to be out of 50. All right? All right? Y'all just hold on 1 second, eh? My children making too much noise. Y'all are making too much noise. Right, yeah. Just needed to sort out our situation there. Okay. Right, so what we're doing is right, so we're going to do the weighted, right? So this is math weighted, then English weighted, and then I'm going to name this one what did I put? Comprehension? Yeah, comprehension weighted. Comprehension weighted. Right. Now the weighted mark is going to be a calculation of their 3 marks and just now I'm making this a little smaller so that it will fit. Okay, good. Damn, I lost the D. Anyhow, good. So I have these students' names and their marks here, right? So these 3 marks here are going to put in a different color because these are the marks I want to weight for maths. You don't have to do this when you do yours, if you do yours, but I'm just doing it like this because I want you to see how I'm doing the calculations. So I'm putting that one in purple, I'm putting this one in green, I'm putting this one in, I don't know, orange, right? Good. So these 3 marks here are supposed to be weighted out of 25. These 2 marks here are supposed to be weighted out of 25, and these marks here are supposed to be weighted out of 50. All right, everybody should be following so far. It's basically me literally trying to weight the marks. So the formula to weight it now is I have to add up all 3 of these, I have to get an average of these, and then multiply by 25 for it to work. This is where the big brain stuff comes in. So people who are not good about maths, who don't like maths or not very, math savvy, well, you're going to have to like stop and like think about trying this. You might want to follow really, really closely. So all these marks here, they really matter. These are the stuff that will be marked out of the marks that you see on top here. This 25, 25, 25. But I don't really care too much about these marks because I want only my weighted marks. So I'll just leave all that there. No issue there. Or if you want, so you don't confuse yourself, you'll just take out these marks here for the class average because you don't want that to confuse you. Right. So I'm going to make these blue also, so that I will know I'm calculating out of those, and I'll change this one to green, and then I'll change this one to orange to show you that we're using those colors, right? So it's going to be equal sign, right? Pause. It's going to get serious now. Equal the sum of these three here. So the sum of F6 to 86. Hold on, I may need to zoom a little more for you to see that. Okay. Right. Yep. So you will see it here. I'm trying to find I need to make this really small so you all could see everything. Right, good, yeah. Right, so I was trying to find the sum of F6 to Liana, it's just for, let's look in the description of the video. If you see the description of the video, and you'll just be able to scroll down. All right. So, watch me. Liana, I'll help you out just now, okay? All right. So, I want to say equal the sum of F6 to 86, which is the color that I have there, right? Those are the 3 marks that I want for maths, divided by the total of all the maths marks. The total of all the maths marks is sum of 25, 25, 25, or you could just put in 75 if you want, right? And that whole thing now has to be multiplied by 25. And boom, I'll get a weighted mark for these 3 marks here. So let me go over that one more time, because this is going to baffle some people, and I know it will, but that's okay. There are some who will understand it, and then there are some who will be able to explain this to others. So I want to find the weighted mark for math. What I did is this. So let's big brain it a little bit. Ask ourselves, do I understand? Yes, you do. So I am finding the sum of this here is the sum of the student marks. And this here is the sum of the total marks, right? Test marks. And I'm dividing them by each other and then multiplying them by 25. That's basically what I did there. Following me? Right? So by doing that, I have literally said, calculate the sum of all the students' marks, divide it by the sum of all the marks for the tests, and then multiply it by 25. That's the maths behind it. So that's what this formula does inside here. So when I do that and I press enter, it's going to give me the weighted mark for the child. And that now, I could now fill handle. So you see this little notch, little notch on the bottom right hand side here. When you click on that, you could drag it down and it'll repeat the formula for every other child. No, you can't do that. You have to absolute cell reference the other part. right here. So you're doing that formula. But here's the problem. The problem is when you do this fill handle, this F3 to H3 will change. So if you know the sum of all the marks, then you could just put in the number. So if I know the number is 75, I could put in the 75. So I could substitute this here and just put the number 75 because I know the total is out of 75. And then when I use this fill handle thing here, I'll be able to pull it down and then it will get a weighted mark for every single child. And if the weighted mark is a decimal, leave it as a decimal. Because remember, we're going to add up all of these to get the final mark, right? So then I want to get the weighted mark for English. The weighted mark for English now would be these cells here that I have in green, which will be I and J. This is actually me teaching spreadsheets, right? This is exactly what I teach in class. But for teachers, you should know this too, right? So I want to do the weighted mark, so I'm going to use the same type of formula, equal the sum of the two scores, which will be these two scores here, divided by the sum of the two test marks, which, just for example purposes, are going to put 50 because I know it's 25 plus 25, right? If you know the mark and you can add it up very easily, no problem. If you are going to change the mark on the fly, then you may want to put in the formula. But you could put the 50 and it will still work, right? Because you know the number. And then you're going to divide the sum of that and that. And you're going to, then you're going to multiply that by 25 because it's 25% for the weighted mark. And then you'll get a weighted mark for them. And then this little notch at the bottom here, this little thing at the corner, it looks like a little block. You click on it, and then you drag it down, and you'll get a weighted mark for English. And then for comprehension now, you're doing the same formula, equals the sum of their marks, which will be, in this case, K6 to K7, close brackets, divided by, how much is out of 25 and 25? So I could put the 50, or I could actually calculate it. And then I multiply that by how much it's weighted by, 50%. So I multiply by 50 and I'll get their weighted mark there. And when I'm done now, I could insert a cell on the right hand side, insert a column on the right hand side, insert column. And now I could name this total mark. And the total mark will just be the sum of these three numbers. So the total mark will be equal sign sum of this, and that, which is M6206. And then you press enter. And then you get the child's mark, and you're using the same little notch there in the corner, which is called the fill handle. Drag that down. And now we have the children's mark as a percentage. And if you want, you could just carry down the decimal points, which is the decimal points. So the top left hand side here, top side here. Carry down the decimal points, carry down. And then we will see that this child got that mark. So you could set up this whole sheet in advance and not put in the students' marks. And then when you actually put in the students' marks, the weighting will automatically calculate each time. So let's say I didn't give my third maths test yet. And let's say I didn't give my first, my second English test or my third comprehension test. The weighted marks will just be looking like that all the time because they will look kind of bad because the children obviously didn't do the work yet. But then I could either plug in the marks by putting in number, or when I export this stuff from Google Sheets, I could just copy that information into here. And let's say the child, this one got 12 out of 25, 23 out of 25, 13 out of 25, and then 19 out of 25. You see the weighted mark automatically changing because the formula is there and the formula is automatically changing it. And then I could change this mark here to this test is out of 25, that they got 23, 24, 13, 16, and 15. No, I put all the marks already. Yeah. Right? And the weighted mark automatically updates. And then I put in the last comprehension mark, which is 56. No, can't be 56. It's out of 25. Yeah. 18, 19, 15, 16, and that's it. Yeah. And now the weighted marks are there, and I have the total mark for their end of term on the right hand side here. And I'll just kind of highlight it in red so you'll be able to see where the total mark is. And that's how you calculate a weighted mark. Now, the thing is, you could get all the information straight from Google Sheets, from Google Classroom. You could get all the marks for all the children. And then after, you could use the marks as is, which is basically just get an average of all the tests that they've done. But if it's going to be weighted, because you know sometimes in primary school, you have to weight the thing based on how SCA weights it and that kind of stuff. You could do that by just making a copy of the sheet, which you will see. I'm just kind of going to give a small recap. Make a duplicate of the sheet. And when you make a duplicate of the sheet, you name it weighted. And then you just leave the columns that were there on the left-hand side already. And all you do is add in on 3 columns, which will be the 3 categories you want to weight. You calculate it, and then you could get the total mark. Cool. All right, so let me get to the chat now to get your questions. All right, so remember, for those of you all who are interested in purchasing stuff for what's called this thing, like Black Friday, Amazon sales, and sales on the internet, I've created a special WhatsApp group for y'all, and the WhatsApp group is in the description of this video. I'll put the link to the WhatsApp group when I finish in the live, which is in the next 9 minutes, and then y'all could join it after. In that group, I just post links to different deals that I would see online, because I'm always online looking at deals, and I get notifications about things being sold and whatnot. So deals on computers, laptops, tablets, toys, things that you want to buy for Christmas, and you don't know how the shipping and all that stuff will be, I will be able to let you know. Listen, you could buy these things, and the shipping wouldn't be too bad, or taxes are removed on this, or taxes are removed on that. When you buy this, you'll be able to get that, whatnot. Yeah, that group is just for people who like shopping online, and they want to get some customized deals from somebody they trust. Like, apparently you trust me, right? Because you're here, I don't know, and I'll help you. I'll help. Right? Those links will be affiliate links, so I might get a little $2 from it every time you buy something. And hey, I mean, it's a hard world we living in. That $2 could go a long way for me to get a new camera, so I could, I don't know, do a next angle on the live or something, or finally build my PC so my streams won't lag anymore. All right, questions before I go. Any questions about exporting the grades from Google Classroom, and any questions about weighting the thing? Jeanette, you asked, can the weighting be done in the class also? No, you can't do the weighting in the class. In the Google Classroom, they will just do a normal average. You have to export it as a sheet to do the weighting. You have to export it to the sheet to do the weighting, because inside the Google Classroom, they're just going to show you all the children's marks, like in a table, in a snapshot. You can't really add a column here. You don't have the ability. This will be very useful for a lot of people. Thank you, sir. You're welcome. How do you send the work on Google Classroom? Brian Thompson, which work you're talking about? Like an assignment? How to create an assignment in Google Classroom? That's what you're trying to say? There are videos in the there's a playlist in this chat. Let me see if I find it for you. I'll put the playlist for you. I didn't put the playlist. Okay, let me get that for you. One of the mods will go to one of the previous videos, and they will get the what's it called, this word? They will get the playlist for you, and they'll put it in the chat, right? The playlist to all the videos that I've done for the past 9 weeks. 9 weeks, boy? Yeah, it's almost 10 weeks I'm doing this every Saturday night. just helping teachers out. Oh, hi Makisha. Hi. You're welcome. Feeling a little bite up now. Right, so Ren found the playlist for you. Yeah, so for those of y'all who don't know the playlist, Ren just posted it. That playlist has all the videos going straight back. So if you want to know how to post an assignment on Google Classroom, I did that about 5 different times in the previous videos. So you can just start from video 1 and watch and work your way up, all up. The information about waiting is a little complicated for me. I will have to watch this live again. Okay, here's what I could do for you. I will create a link to this spreadsheet and I'll put it in the description of the video so that if you want, you could download the spreadsheet. You could download you could open the Google Sheets and you could make a copy of it and then play around with it so that you understand how it works. So I could do that for you. Not a problem. All right, so for those of y'all that haven't liked the video as yet, just see that little thumbs up thingy that you see on the video. If you're on a phone, click X on the chat and then you'll see the little thumb pointing up. Click that one and then you can bring back up the chat. If you're on a computer, you'll see a little thumb that's pointing up like that. Yeah, click that and you can like the video. Liking the video makes it propagate better to other people. Okay, all right, so I'm going to create a link to this one time before I forget. But I'll be sharing it as a viewer, right? Because yeah. Just now, I'll clean it up a little bit because they have links to my classroom and all that stuff inside here. All right. Right, any questions before we go? Right, I think that should be good there. All right, cool. I can share it now. Share. Save. All right, so I'm sharing it as a link so that anybody could view. Anyone with the link can be a viewer. Copy link. All right, good. So, right inside this chat, the first link that you will see would be a link to the sample spreadsheet. Link to sample spreadsheet. All right, when you go to that link with the sample spreadsheet, it will have like, you will see some little animals on top. I think I needed to explain that to some people too. Let me show you all what happens, right? When you share a link publicly, you get these kind of animals popping up. And some people asked me questions about that this week. And I had to explain to them, the little animals are not hackers. Watch this, right? You see now top right hand side there, you see who this is? Which one is this? Anonymous Wolverine. Right. So you will see little animals popping into your stream like Anonymous Wolverine, Pink Bear, all sorts of different animals will pop into the Google Classroom. I mean not the Google Classroom, to the sheet. It's not hackers. This is just to warn you that your sheet is now publicly available on the internet. Yeah, it's publicly available on the internet, and once it's publicly available on the internet, anybody could come and watch it. Anybody could come in and watch it. But remember, you share this publicly. So anyone on the internet could open the link and watch it. So I shared this document, but I shared it and it's anyone on the link could view it because I changed that to view. So if you go by change, you will see anyone with the link can view it. So if you've seen those little animals and you're not too sure what's happening, then you most likely shared it publicly. So you want to click restricted. If that's the case, restricted and stop it from being shared publicly. But because I'm putting this in this chat, in the description of this video, I'm putting it with anyone with the link and I'm making them a viewer, not an editor. Because if you make it an editor, trust me, the internet will mash up your document. Like totally destroy it. So you don't want to do that. You want to make it with anyone with the link and then you put them as a viewer so that you now could go and view this document and you could make a copy of it, this sheet, and make a copy of it, and you could play around with the rubric that I did and play around with the formulas that I have for it with the colors and everything. That will help you out, right? So you see the animals again: anonymous anteater, anonymous hyena, anonymous wolverine, right? All those things are there just to prove that it is on the internet and live. That's just like a warning to let you know the document that you're working on is open to the whole internet to see if they have the link. So don't get too worried and be like, sir, I think I get hacked. And you'll be like, no, you didn't. It's really not that serious. Yes. All right, so my goal today was to show you that you don't have to use this to calculate your marks for the end of term. You can use Google Classroom to help you get this done. And that will make you a lot more efficient in your grade calculation and being able to get marks for the children. Because you would have given so many assignments, now you want to be able to use those assignments to get your mark, whether you want to get the mark straightforward by just finding a total average, or you want to do a weighted assessment. I showed both of them in this video. And thank you very much for those of you all who've been asking for the link to the WhatsApp group I've created for Amazon, for the Amazon shoppers out there. I'm going to put the link now, and then you can leave. All right, that group is a closed group, meaning only the admin could speak. So only I post the links. You can't talk back. You just kind of be like, oh, I like this one, and click on it, buy it, right? Click on it, buy it, click on it, buy it, if you want to. If not, you could just watch and be like, ooh, yeah, that's a lot of links there. But Black Friday sale coming up just now, and you don't want to miss out on some of the deals, especially since the technology taxes are dropped. Some of those things are going to drop. The prices are going to drop really, really good. And then you'll get real good laptops and you get real good phones and tablets and things. Well, not phones, but tablets and laptops. And next year, the phones will be cheaper. So, all that, right? So, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great weekend. And keep on teaching and enjoying what you're doing. And try to make this COVID thing work. And try to teach as best as you can. And even though the parents stressing you and the children stressing you, you'll just figure out a way and say to yourself, no, I'm going to make this work because I want to do it the best I can do for the students. This is not for anybody else besides students, and that's why we teach for students. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great week.